At the core, none of us were meant to be common. We were born to be comets, darting across space and time, leaving our mark as we crash into everything. A crater is a reminder that something amazing happened right here, an indelible impact that shook up the world. Are we not astronomers searching for the next shooting star?
So a teacher's approach to progressive education is very exciting. A teacher takes the standards that one's looking for, but then she takes the interests of a class and is able to expand and ask questions and really go deeply into an exploration of a topic and really show the linkages, the history, the culture, how people are involved, the math, how time affected it. It's really, really, really exciting, and it's developmentally appropriate.
As discussed in the previous video, progressive education is a philosophy of education that does not base its ideas off of traditional viewpoints. It emphasizes learning through play and projects, uses group work as well as individual work, and offers time and energy for students to become individual thinkers who are creative, curious, as well as logical. These points can be demonstrated through the DAP connection that we found. In this article, it states that primary grade children need environments characterized by good conversation, joy, and excitement over accomplishments and laughter, and by teachers who are tuned into children's needs, moods, and interests and abilities. By teaching through a progressive perspective, we want to teach students how to live a life of continuous education. This takes a large amount of effort and very specific goals within a classroom setting. Next, here is a list of goals that our group deemed to be most important in our own ideal classroom setting. The first goal for the teachers as well as the students is to create high student achievement. This can be done by keeping expectations high and individualizing the classroom setting. We also deem it to be important to offer resources to all students within your classroom and to be offered resources by the school. These could be technological resources such as computers or tablets, or they can even be resources as simple as textbooks. It is also important for the teacher to be patient, have the ability to offer extra assistance, and be able to adapt to children and their basic individual needs. On this same note, a teacher should be able to create an open and reliable environment in which all students feel safe, cared for, and important in. Next is a video of Prince Iya describing the importance of change and growth within classrooms.
Proceed. Exhibit A. Here's a modern day phone. Recognize it? Here's a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Stay with me. Here's a car from today. And here's a car from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Well, get this. Here's a classroom of today. And here's a class we used 150 years ago. Now, ain't that a shame?
As shown in this video, another one of our goals is that schools must continuously develop and grow as the country does. Finally, we believe that schools must stimulate success from the standards instead of relying on the standards for success. Standards must just be seen as a basis point in which to dive into more information and curriculum. Information can come from a variety of cultures to add diversity into classrooms that have very little. All of these goals are important to us in creating an ideal classroom. These ideals support a basic design of progressive classrooms.
Our beliefs of how children learn and develop are through play and interaction, hands-on activities, and engagement activities. Learning skills differ between students, so their learning activities should as well. Erikson's theory states that all children follow to some degree of the same path of development, but this does not mean that all children are the same or carry the same experiences. As teachers, though, we should try to structure our classrooms around the different development levels. Children learn from their successes as well as their failures. Therefore, it is important for children to understand that letdowns and conflicts will arise within their lives and that they can learn from these experiences as well. Children should know how to work independently and collaboratively. The physical environment and classroom materials will be a positive and beneficial part to the first grade classroom due to our own personal experiences. I remember having a safe, comfortable, and easygoing approach in the classroom, and that can set our future children up for success. A classroom can never have enough materials, so having plenty of resources available for the students will help improve student achievement. Our classroom environment will be based on a progressive learning approach, which means knowledge is constructed through play and social interaction. A curriculum in our ideal classroom is based off of a progressive learning approach, which uses benchmark assessments to measure a student's growth. This also helps design the curriculum to meet individual student needs. The curriculum will be set up so the children are doing hands-on projects, group work, and developing different types of skills.
Teaching strategies within a progressive classroom will be very different from those in a traditional one. A teacher should not just be the provider of information, but should help to direct children in finding and understanding the information for themselves. We as future educators must realize that all students are different and that they each carry different strengths and weaknesses. With this knowledge at our disposal, it is imperative to provide and implement multiple teaching strategies so that all children feel as though they can thrive and succeed in their own classrooms. Using a progressive approach, it is important to have a focus on group work, individuality, and creativity in order to grow to become a lifelong learner. Therefore, while lectures may still be used infrequently, teachers should be able to offer time for children to process, understand, and evaluate information individually as well as in groups. This sounds like a very difficult, especially for a first grade classroom setting. In actuality, this would be a positive way to introduce new letters, numbers, and ideas. A positive example of this would be to split our class of students into groups and allow them the opportunity to look at a picture or even read a simplistic book and work through the new materials themselves. Then the students will be responsible to find and understand the curriculum within their groups, but the teacher is still able to help if some children are confused, or the teacher can still help the students further comprehend the information. This approach would allow for the students to find their own curious and creative sides while also learning certain tools from the hidden curriculum. As focused on the next slide, here is a video of Hank Green discussing the importance of individuality within the school systems.
The toolkit that we develop in school and out of school is the thing that we will use for the rest of our lives to solve problems personally and professionally. And professionally solving problems is what you call a job. But if everyone gets the same toolkit in school, then we have a glut. We have an oversupply of people with that toolkit. And when supply outstrips demand, well, I learned all about that in my economics class that I had to wait until college to take. I worry about there not being a broad enough diversity of toolkit. This is why
Assessment strategies. Different kinds of assessment strategies include portfolios, presentations, and tests. Assessment strategies allow teachers to see how students are obtaining and utilizing information they are learning and what they understand and retain. They also allow teachers to see what kind of assessment strategies their students work best with. As teachers, we will be incorporating different assessment strategies into our classroom because we believe that every child learns differently. I believe that incorporating a variety of assessments is important in student learning. As a student myself, I find various assessments to be a breath of fresh air. I found only having tests to be very repetitive. Guidance strategies. Communication plays an important role in guidance strategies. Having a one-on-one conversation with a student helps teachers know how they can help and work with students individually and what kind of guidance the student may need. Offering tutoring, after-school extra help sessions, and sometimes even additional work can help a student who needs guidance in a certain subject or when learning a new concept and applying it. When working with a student who is struggling, we believe it is best to offer the student the support they need so that they can be assured their efforts are valid and that asking for help is always welcome. As a student, having multiple guidance resources available is very helpful and reassuring. In the past, I have utilized tutoring, one-on-one conversations and meetings with the teacher, and other strategies as well.